If you're under the age of 10, don't listen to me for the next 5 minutes, because I'm going to tell a story about what really used to get me in trouble when I was a little boy, and I don't want you to do the same thing, okay? So just close your eyes for a little bit and pretend I'm not here. I can remember when I was much younger, my mother would get me together and we'd hop on the bus and we'd go shopping. And invariably, we were going shopping for a present for my older sister. My older sister and my younger sister were much better students in school than I was. I kind of came on later to make my mark in the crowd. But in those early years, my older sister always was deserving a present. So off we would go, my mother and I, to some department store, sometimes downtown Baltimore, other times just the local shopping center somewhere. Now, I found this endeavor to be incredibly boring, and I thought I should do something to kind of make it fun. So after my mother was shopping for a few moments for a gift for my sister, she would invariably start heading over into dresses and that kind of clothing on racks. Well, to make things a little bit more interesting, what I decided to do was kind of play hide and seek with my mother. So I would go and hide in the racks of clothing. I thought that was just really cool to hide for a while from my mother. Probably wouldn't be surprising for me to tell you my mother didn't share that opinion. And the first thing I heard was, "Where are you?" Next thing I heard was, "Where did you go?" And then it finally escalated to, "When I get my hands on you, boy." My mother, God love her, her voice seemed to be escalating in intensity as she was looking for me. Finally, I decided it's time to kind of give up the ghost and suck it up and just face the consequences. And I would wait till my mother walked past me, and then I would come around behind her and say, "Hi, Mom, I was looking for you." And I won't tell you what happened to me when we got home. Mark tells us this evening about Jesus and the disciples. The disciples, having spent a day with Jesus, kind of get a little disconnected from him. They lose sight of him, and seemingly because of that disconnect, they have a sense that they've lost him. Finally, Jesus comes and appears again to them after spending time deepening his communion with his Father, and you can almost hear the tension and anxiety in their voice. What do they say? On finding him, said, "Everyone is looking for you." For a while tonight, let's just think about that for a minute. Who exactly is everyone? Was it just the 12 who had gathered around him, who thought, "Uh-oh, are we in trouble? We've lost him. Where did he go? Is he hiding from us somewhere?" Was it everyone in the community who had been seeing him healing and working these wonders and wanted to be closer to him? Was that everyone? But then again, We don't understand these Gospels, this Word of God, to be something that's just stuck at some moment in history now, do we? We believe that the Christ who was present to these disciples is the Christ who is present now and speaks to us. Consequently, this Word of God is timeless, is it not? And if that be the case, then just exactly who is this everyone who is looking for him? Does it include you? Is that what you find yourself about day in and day out? Looking for Jesus? Another way of saying that, tomorrow, when Tom Brady doesn't get his Super Bowl ring and Patrick Mahomes is tossing bombs to score 7 points, not that I'm picking a winner here, but are you going to be looking for Jesus? In the midst of this pandemic, when you find yourself at home staring at that computer screen, are you looking for Jesus? As you get so frustrated and irritated because you can't go about the everydayness of life, do you find yourself looking for Jesus? And therein we find the challenge that Mark offers us this weekend. Sometimes we get so caught up in the everydayness of life that the last possible thing on our mind is trying to find Jesus. These days, what we're trying to figure out is how to maintain our sanity and stay safe in the unusual everyday living that we find ourselves in. Huh? But how in the midst of all that are we looking for him? Sometimes looking for Jesus tends to be something that we just kind of add on to everything else that we're about. Our first concerns tend to lie somewhere else. And yet, if we truly are disciples on a mission, missionary disciples, should not our mission be precisely that? Looking for Jesus. Only when we look for him, only when we constantly encounter him, can we share with others what we have. Should not looking for Jesus be not just something we do here, where we can easily find him in his word, where surely we encounter him in sacrament, where we know without doubt he is with us as we gather in prayer, but should not looking for him be the endeavor of our lives, the purpose of each day, the mission we embark on as soon as we put our feet on the floor and take our first breath? Is not searching, looking for him, what we should be about? And you know, when you stop and think about it, one of the reasons places like this exist is so that he can be found, so that he can be found sacramentally, so that he can be found in the many, many, many ways that we engage in service to others. Parishes exist not for people to be busy, but so that we can find our way to holiness. Our service to others gives us an opportunity to find that holiness and also to find Jesus. Perhaps as you search for him this week, think of things that you can do to encounter others who are doing the very same thing. Together, our task is, in fact, to be on mission, and that mission is to look for him. You can't find what you're not looking for. You can't find what you don't even try to seek. You can't find what you forget about. You can only find what you're looking for. Boy, my mom sometimes was looking for me. And God love her, at 95 years old, she still reminds me of that. Boy, you're lucky we were in a public place when I found you. To which I respond, just remember, Mom, your son, the priest, is going to tell Jesus about what you did. To which she says, and I will see Jesus first and tell him about what you did. My mom was looking for me pretty intently in those times. There was nothing more important to her at that moment than finding her son, the treasure she had lost. Do you search for Jesus as intently as you would search for a treasure that you lost? Do you look for him in the same way you would look for your child that you couldn't find? Are you, along with everyone else, looking for Jesus?